Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Ranil Wickremesinghe suffers from heart, lung and kidney issues. Also requires a machine to sleep safely. Considering his medical condition, court grants bail. Ranil Wickremesinghe remains in hospital, confirms his office. UNP and SJB show signs of unity. Kavinda Jayawardena confirms collaboration. Sajid Premadasa says walking together isn't a problem.
මැදමාවත පිළිගන්න මානුෂීය ධනවාදයක් සමාජ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයක් පිළිගන්න තුන්වෙනි මාවතට ඔය සියලු දෙනාටම අවතීර්ණ වීම අපහසු කාරණාවක් නෙවෙයි.
Vedarachi says both Ranil and Sajid are their leaders. President says no matter the criticism, the decisions taken will not be reversed.
Taking a look at those stories in detail now. Despite the noise and protests, President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake firmly emphasized that the steps taken will not be reversed and that a new era will be created where everyone is equal before the law. He made these remarks while addressing the National Bhikkhu Day celebration held in Colombo.
Do we continue drifting down the same destructive path like a boat carried by the current, or do we make a decision to turn it around? I swear before our revered Theras that we will decisively reverse this destructive journey. No matter the protests or outcry, the steps we've taken will not be undone. I swear this before our Theras. If my government does not take this stand, no future government in Sri Lanka will ever do it. But we are doing it. My government is doing it. Everyone must be equal before the law. That is a fundamental principle of justice. Wealth, power, position, history, influence, none of it matters. Before the law, everyone is equal. If anyone has ever been involved in a crime, corruption, abuse of power or misuse of public funds, we will make every effort to bring them before the law. This is not revenge. This is not a witch hunt. It's about restoring a sense of justice and trust in the legal system. Today's society has lost faith in justice. People believe the law applies only to some. He won't be punished. He's connected. We're the ones who get punished. That's the perception. But the law must be equal to all. The problem is not the law itself, but how it's applied differently to different people. That's what we are changing. We will not interfere with any institution. We tell them, do your duty. The Criminal Investigation Department, use the powers granted to you by law. The Attorney General's Department, exercise your authority. The judiciary, examine cases fairly. We won't label anyone corrupt. Let the court decide. That's our commitment. When we say the law is equal to all, some people react like they've been stung. You see it these days. They say the law can't be equal for everyone. It's for us, not for them. Why do they panic when we say the law applies to all? Because their conscience knows they are guilty. Their conscience knows they are corrupt. That's why we must bless the idea that everyone is equal before the law. But why the panic? Because deep down, they know the truth.
President's Counsel Anuja Premaratne, appearing on behalf of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, informed the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court that Wickremesinghe suffers from a respiratory condition that causes breathing difficulties during sleep. He said that the former president must be connected to a medical device while sleeping and that only his wife is aware of how to operate it.
Explaining the severity of Wickremesinghe's health condition, Premaratne emphasized that his client is suffering from multiple illnesses. After considering these submissions, Fort Magistrate Nilupuli Lankapura ordered the release of Vikramasinghe on 3 personal bails of 5 million rupees each, taking into account his current medical condition.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe was remanded last Friday by the Colombo Magistrates Court over allegations of using 16.6 million rupees in public funds for a private overseas visit. However, within hours of the remand order, Wickremesinghe was admitted to the intensive care unit of the National Hospital due to a sudden deterioration in his health. Based on medical recommendations, Wickremesinghe appeared before court via Zoom. A legal team including President's Counsels Anuja Premaratne, Ali Sabri and Tilak Marapana represented Wickremesinghe in court. Appearing on behalf of the Attorney General's Department was Additional Solicitor General Dileep Piris. President's Counsel Anuja Premaratne provided a detailed explanation of Wickremesinghe's current medical condition to the Fort Magistrate. According to Premaratne, 3 arteries in Wickremesinghe's heart are blocked. He is also suffering from kidney disease, has low sodium levels in his body and is battling a lung infection. Quote,
Your Honor, 3 out of 4 major arteries in my client's heart are blocked. Surgery is not an option. He is suffering from chronic kidney disease and experiences breathing difficulties during sleep. Due to this, he must be connected to a CPAP machine while sleeping, a device only his wife knows how to operate. If the machine fails or is unavailable, it could result in cardiac arrest. My client also has a dangerously low sodium level in his body, a lung infection and a condition affecting the upper part of his pancreas. These complications have severely weakened his immune system, placing him at high risk of a sudden heart attack. Despite these serious conditions, they are not visibly apparent in his physical appearance. In short, Your Honor, my client is afflicted with nearly every major illness imaginable, yet he does not let it show. That is why doctors have strongly recommended that he remain under close medical supervision. In light of these exceptional circumstances, I respectfully request that my client be released on bail.
Unquote. During the proceedings, Additional Solicitor General Dileep Piris strongly objected to the bail request. Quote,
Your Honor, according to the defense, the suspect appears to be suffering from a new set of illnesses. Yet, despite these claims, he continues to meet with numerous petitions. The National Hospital has not submitted any formal report confirming these conditions, nor has it stated that the hospital is incapable of treating the illness mentioned. The majority of the medical reports presented were obtained only yesterday after the suspect was remanded. If these conditions are genuine, why were they not disclosed earlier? This is a criminal case, not a matter of public welfare. The legal team may have changed, but their arguments remain the same. There is no new or exceptional reason to justify bail. Therefore, Your Honor, we respectfully oppose the request for bail and urge the court to proceed accordingly.
Unquote. After considering arguments presented by both the defense and the prosecution, Colombo Fort Magistrate Nilupuli Lankapura issued an order granting bail to former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Quote,
Today's ruling is an extension of the order issued on the 23rd of August. The defense has presented detailed submissions regarding the suspect's current medical condition. In addition to recent reports, medical records from 2016 and 2017 were also submitted. Furthermore, a specialized medical board comprising 6 doctors from the Colombo National Hospital has provided a report on the suspect's health. While the accuracy of these reports cannot be verified at this stage, the court trusts that they were issued responsibly by qualified professionals. In light of the suspect's present medical condition, the court orders that he be released on bail.
Unquote. The magistrate also scheduled the next hearing for the 29th of October. Following the court order, a group including prison officials arrived at the National Hospital to carry out administrative procedures required for the release of Ranil Wickremesinghe on bail. The office of former President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced that he is expected to receive treatment at the National Hospital over the next few days. The statement further noted that after receiving medical treatment, Wickremesinghe is expected to reach out to all relevant parties. Deputy Director of the National Hospital, Dr. Rukshan Bellana stated,
Ada වෙද්දී රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය
As of today, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe remains in the ICU due to his current health condition. He has shown some recovery from the temporary complications caused by dehydration. However, he still has minor arterial blockages in his heart. I believe he should continue resting. Now that he's been granted bail, he has the option to receive further treatment at a hospital of his choice. According to medical opinion, he still requires treatment and rest. I would not recommend him resuming a busy schedule, at least for another week.
රෙස්ට් එක කාර්ය බහුල වෙන්න හොඳ නැහැ. තව සතියක්වත් යනකම්.
Meanwhile, immediately after being granted bail by the court, opposition leader and Samagi Jana Balawegaya leader Sajith Premadasa went to the National Hospital and met with Ranil Wickremesinghe. Later speaking to the media, he said that there is no obstacle to walking together on a middle path.
What I have always said is that we are not implementing our journey just for political gains. We are respecting principles. We are establishing unity with the aim of providing solutions to the country's problems based on policies. It is not difficult for all of us to accept the middle path, to accept humane capitalism and social democracy.
නැවත අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් විදිහ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ නියෝජ්‍ය නායක හැටියට ඔබතුමාව
What is important here is not whether you are the deputy leader, the president or the prime minister. What is important is that the murderous culture that is currently operating in our country must stop. So, will we come together or act as a group? All those decisions are based on providing answers to these questions, to provide solutions to problems.
The General Secretary of the United National Party said this afternoon that a political alliance has been formed.
When the case filed against former President Ranil Wickremesinghe over allegations of misusing 16.6 million rupees in public funds for a private overseas trip was taken up in court today, activists from several political parties gathered near the Colombo Fort court premises. Security around the court was tightened while party supporters assembled near the Sri Murugan Kovil on Kompanya Q Road. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa arrived at the court premises in support of Wickremesinghe. SLPP national organizer Namal Rajapaksa also arrived at the court premises. Representatives from the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, United National Party and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party were seen among the crowd gathered near court.
They all doctor.
Several Theras, including Venerable Thiniyavala Palitha Thera, attempted to enter the courtroom in support of Wickremesinghe.
පොලිස් පත්තුමා කවුද මෙතනට ඕඩර් දුන්නේ අපිට යන්න එපා කියලා හාමුදුරුවන්ට. අඩු ගානේ නායක ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලාට අපි රණ්ඩුවක් නේ මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට කරන් දෙයක්වත් නේ. පොලිස් පත්තුමා පොලිස් පත්තුමා කියලා වැඩ. ඉවරට දෙන්න බෑ. නායක හාමුදුරුවෝ නේ. ඔයාට කතා කළේ.
Meanwhile, a police officer was injured after being struck by a bottle thrown from the crowd. The injured officer was taken to hospital for treatment. As the case against former President Ranil Wickremesinghe was taken up, several political figures shared their views.
We came to the Fourth Magistrates Court earlier today regarding the case of Shashindra Rajapaksa. In the evening, it's Ranil Wickremesinghe's case. This is the nature of politics in this country. We firmly believe that the judiciary in this country operates independently. Even today, we believe that no matter how much political pressure is applied, the government cannot interfere with the judicial system.
අපි මෙහි පැමිණ තිබෙන්නේ අපේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයත් ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී නිදහසත් ආරක්ෂා කරගෙන මේ ඒකාධිපති වියරුවෙන් වෙනිසුලා වැනි රටක් බවට මේ රට පත් කිරීම වැළැක්වීම සඳහා වර්ධනයට එරෙහිව ජනතාව පිළිගහිනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ජනතාව කැමැත්තෙන්ම ඇවිල්ලාද නැත්නම් මේ
ජනතාව කැමැත්තෙන් වාහන මුදාන
දැන් පෞද්ගලික කාලේ විශාල හඬක් ඇවිල්ලා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාට එරෙහිව අදත් තියෙනවා හෙටත් තියෙනවා ඒක. අපිත් එක්ක අපිට තියෙන දේශපාලන ගැටලු ප්‍රශ්න ඒ විදිහට මේ විදිහටම තියෙනවා. මොකද එතුමත් එක්ක තියෙන ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය ගැටලු හෙටත් තියෙයි. ඒ මෙතන මේ තියෙන රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ කියන පුද්ගලයා ගැන ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි. ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ.
அரசாங்கத்தின் செயல்பாடுகள் விலங்குதானே வந்து அரசியல் பழிவாங்கல் முன்னாள் ஜனாதிபதி அவர்களுக்காக இன்னைக்கு கொண்டு வராங்க. அதனால
இதே ஒன்று கூட்டல வந்து மலைய மக்கள் சம்பளத்துக்காக ஒன்று கூட்டிருக்காங்க தானே?
இல்ல, நாங்க மலைய மக்கள் சம்பளத்தை தொடர்ந்து பேசிக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம்.
பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறது ஒன்று கூட்டுறது வேற.
ஒன்று கூட பேசிக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கிறோம். கம்பெனிக்காரன் கொடுக்கணுமே வந்து அதான் பெரிய பிரச்சனை வந்து. அதனால தான் சொல்றோம், நாங்க வந்து மலைய மக்கள் பிரச்சனையில தோட்டங்களை பிரிச்சு கொடுத்து சிறு தொழில் ஆக்க சொல்லுவாங்க.
இன்றைக்கு இந்த எல்லாரும் எல்லா கட்சியும் ஒன்றா சேர்ந்துருக்கீங்க. இது வந்து மக்களுக்காகவா இல்லை ரணிலுக்காகவா?
இது வந்து என்ன சொல்றது வந்து இந்த அரசாங்கத்தை வீட்டுக்கு அனுப்பணும். ஏன்னா இது வந்து இந்த அரசாங்கம் வந்து இடமான அரசாங்கம் வந்து வந்த மாதிரி பேசுற மாதிரி இல்லை வந்து சரியா சர்வாதிகார அரசாங்கம்.
The case filed against former Minister Harin Fernando for allegedly violating election laws was taken up at the Badulla Magistrates Court today.
The case has been filed over an incident that occurred during the previous general election. The case was postponed to the 6th of January.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanka S. Bodragama has ordered that the case filed under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act against Kehli Rambukwella, his wife, his 3 daughters and son-in-law be recalled on the 9th of September. The case is being investigated by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. The magistrate also instructed Siabok to clarify whether the case should continue before the magistrate's court, given that an indictment has already been filed in the Colombo High Court regarding the same incident.
Bribery Commission officials appearing in court requested a new date, stating that the investigation officer was not present in court today. Taking these submissions into account, the Chief Magistrate fixed the next hearing for the 9th of September. The case relates to allegations that during his tenure as Minister of Mass Media, Health and Environment between 2021 and 2023, Kehli Rambukwala appointed several close associates to his personal staff. It is alleged that the salaries and overtime payments made to these individuals by the ministry were used to fund personal and political activities, causing a loss of over 8 million rupees to the state.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya has publicly challenged those claiming that she visited former President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the National Hospital to provide evidence to support their claims. She made this statement while addressing the media following an awareness program held in Badulla on education reforms.
ඔබතුමී පෙරේදාර හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා බලන්න ගියා කියලා දැන් මාධ්‍ය වල පොඩි කතාවක් යනවා මේ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය වල ඔබතුමී ගියාද එතුමා සනීපෙන් ඉන්නවද කොහොමද දන්නේ විස්තර
That's something you'll have to ask those who claim to have gone. As for his condition, I believe the Prime Minister's office issued a proper response yesterday. I think we'll have to start taking action against those who continue to spread false news like this. If I had gone, there should be some form of evidence to support that claim. You can't just create news out of thin air. If I did go, where did that information come from? Did anyone see me? Is there a photograph? As Prime Minister, I can't just go anywhere, anytime unnoticed. So if someone says I went, they should prove it. That's all I'm asking. I challenge the journalist who made that claim. Are they here today? If that's the case, I challenge you to prove that I went. If you can, then the matter is resolved. Until then, I reject the claim. If I am lying, prove it. Then we'll have clarity. This is a judicial process. As a government, we made a promise to people that the law should be enforced equally without favoritism. We've given full independence and freedom to the institutions responsible for upholding the law. What's happening now is a result of that process. That's just another baseless rumor. These are fabricated stories with no foundation. If someone is going to report something, there should at least be a basis for it. As journalists, you should reflect on that. Do not turn gossip into news. If you are going to publish a story, at least ask me whether I have such an intention. Without doing that, how can such stories be created?
Newsfirst with the people.
The President's remarks at the National Bhikkhu Day celebration were telecast at the beginning of our news bulletin today. Now let's take a look at what transpired at the National Bhikkhu Day celebrations, which was attended by the Mahasangha.
The National Bhikkhu Day celebration was held this afternoon at Temple Trees. Venerable Theros arrived for the event in a procession that began at the Ministry of Buddhist Affairs. The ceremony at Temple Trees was presided over by the Mahasangha of the three sects. President Anurukumar Disanayaka and the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Dr. Hiniduma Sunil Senavi, also participated.
Today we commonly see both virtuous monks who are dedicated to the sasana and those who act in ways that destroy the sasana. As we gather to take a new step for this country, as Theras who offer advice and guidance, We especially need noble examples from the monastic community. They must be well versed in religious texts.
ඉතාමත් උදාර භික්ෂු පූර්වාදර්ශ අවශ්‍යයි. හොඳ පොතපත පරිශීලනය කරලා තියෙන්නට ඕන.
The venerable Theras who have come to this place from various parts of Sri Lanka have one main expectation, that is, that we act like links in a single chain, like strands in a single rope, bound together to work with strength. We must remember that the Secretary and President Theras of this organization have given us that strength. We offer a special blessing to the current President Andrukumara Dissanayaka. The National Bhikkhu Front hopes to establish the rule of law in this country, bring about social justice and foster national unity, religious harmony and human equality to create a disciplined nation. Our King Dharmasoka had a thought that said, "All citizens are my children." We hope that he will stand by that attitude, to work without any racism or division, seeing all people as equals. This government is on its way to achieving that.
The Inter-University Students' Federation held a protest march from the University of Colombo to the University Grants Commission. The march was organized demanding a solution to the issues faced by students studying for the Bachelor of Education degree.
The march, organized by the Inter-University Students' Federation (OIUSF), proceeded from the University of Colombo to the University Grants Commission. The protest was organized to demand that criteria be established for the quality of the Bachelor of Education degree and that the procedure for recruiting graduates into the teaching service be formalized. Students from several universities including Colombo, Peradeniya, Jawadarapura and Moratuwa participated in the protest in support. After a discussion with the representative of the Ministry of Higher Education, the convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Sasindu Pereira, addressed the crowd.
The minister's side admitted that our issue is 100% fair, but the solutions we need were not created during this discussion. This is because although the Deputy Minister said recently that the committee report on the BED issue was finished, it is not yet finished. That was clearly established during this meeting. He promised to finish it and give the student movement through the Inter-University Students' Federation another round of discussions in 2 weeks.
Deputy Minister Anil Jayantha says that investor confidence in Sri Lanka is on the rise.
Speaking in Gampaha today, Deputy Minister of Economic Development Dr. Anil Jayantha said that Sri Lanka would be able to service the country's debt sooner than expected.
Exports have reached the $10 billion target within the last 7 months. There is no need to be afraid in any way. The political strategy of past governments was to create fear among people, provide a small answer to that fear and carry on. We say don't be afraid. We are saying that we can face challenges. This is a government that can face any unexpected challenge. According to the previous plans, we would have needed to repay loans, find money again and borrow from foreign markets only by 2028. We were given these recommendations for 2028. However, now international institutions, especially those like Bloomberg, are forecasting that we don't need to wait until 2028 and that we will have the ability to repay our loans by 2026. We have made our plans to face that challenge. In the current situation, we have achieved that stability even before the expected time. To attract investment, there needs to be an environment that instills confidence in the investor. That environment has now been created.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Crystal Skin Clinic, a leader in the wellness industry, hosted a successful blood donation drive in Colombo today.
The Crystal Blood Donation Drive 2025 was organised for the third consecutive year at the head office in Bambalapitiya today.
Today we are doing this blood donation program as the third time we are doing this social service. It's a requirement to the society. We always love to do this type of services with our capacity.
So today we are having the blood donation drive for the third consecutive year. This has now been an annual event. Crystal, as a company where we grow with our society, where we do a lot of social services activities to grow with the society, to give something back to our country and society.
The Corporate Social Responsibility or the CSR initiative, held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m, was organised to support the critical need for blood in the country and contributed to the national blood supply.
To commemorate Animal Day this August, a public walk was organised at the Goldface Green in Colombo to raise awareness about animal rights.
A public walk was organised at the Goldface Green in Colombo to raise awareness about animal rights in line with Animal Day this August. During this event, a formal letter addressed to the President advocating for the protection and recognition of animal rights was also handed over to the Presidential Secretariat. The organisers are also preparing to launch South Asia's largest dog-centric event, the Dog Festival, for the third consecutive year. The Dog Festival 2025 is scheduled to take place over 2 vibrant days in October, featuring special activity zones and entertainment highlights.
The Roshan Mahanama Trust opened its second Lama Piercer facility today.
The Roshan Mahanama Trust launched its second Lama Piercer facility in partnership with the Sri Lanka College of Pediatricians and the National Hospital Galle.
This facility meant for the children who come under violence is going to be a heaven for them. The entire country, entire island should be a safe haven for children to adults. But we know it is not so. So therefore, these kind of facilities are necessary. I think as a society, while we are safeguarding such victimized children, we need to lower the vulnerability of the violent nature of society and reduce the vulnerability of the children. So that is mitigation.
This initiative is designed to provide a safe space and healing for children who have experienced abuse and trauma.
The launch of GEM Sri Lanka 2026 was held in Colombo today.
Representative for the High Commission of Pakistan.
The launch of GEM Sri Lanka 2026, organised by the Ceylon Gem and Jewellery Traders Association, also known as CGJTA, was held in Colombo today. The third edition of South Asia's most prestigious international gem and jewellery showcase will be held on the 7th, 8th and 9th January 2026. Anchored by the theme, the source, the production, the selection, GEM Sri Lanka 2026 celebrates Sri Lanka's enduring legacy as one of the world's foremost origins of rare, high-quality gemstones.
As a mayor of Colombo, I am proud that our city will be able to host this remarkable international showcase. Colombo is shaped very much by commerce, by culture, and by its people, facets that are deeply reflected also in the Sri Lankan gem industry. GEM Sri Lanka is more than just an exhibition. It is a celebration of authenticity, of generational skill, and of Sri Lanka's unique position as a source of some of the world's most exquisite gemstones. Colombo is also developing a new city master plan, one that aims to better align with the future that we all aspire for and we all hope to build. We are working to create space for new ideas, for new industries and new opportunities. A space for people, a space for commerce, a space for nature. Our goal is to shape a city that embraces both heritage and innovation, just as the gem industry does so very well. So events like GEM Sri Lanka play a very important role in the future that we want to create for our city also. So to all the international guests who are joining us in January, Colombo welcomes you.
How Sri Lanka is having the ability to position itself among the rest of the gem and jewelry suppliers is a quite interesting insight for us to see that how much effort that the government should put to ensure that we capture that opportunity at the time when it lasts. And apart from that, I'm pretty sure that you are seeing a significant change in how the governance is working. There's more collaboration, there's more discussion. Whilst we agree that not all the changes are implemented within the last 9 months, we are doing what is possible with the understanding. We are working very hard along with the chairman of the Gem and Jewellery Authority and our officials who are here to streamline this industry. This industry, even though we spoke about this industry in a big way, this industry is one of the most corrupt, one of the most complex industries in the world. The auctions are getting streamlined, and more exhibitions are taking place, which we are happy to see. There's competition among the associations as well. That's going to push our boundaries to make each event a greater success as we go along.
Responding to the surge in global demand, this year's event will introduce upgraded exhibitor services and enhanced visitor facilities, offering an immersive experience for every participant.
Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says at least 20 people, including 5 journalists working for the international media, have been killed in an Israeli double strike on Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza.
The news outlets confirmed the journalists had worked with Reuters, the Associated Press, Al Jazeera and the Middle East Eye. The World Health Organization's chief said 4 health workers were also killed from the strike. Footage of the attack shows a second strike hitting rescuers who had arrived to help those targeted by the initial attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the incident a tragic mishap and said military authorities were conducting a thorough investigation. The latest deaths bring the number of journalists killed in Gaza since the start of the war in October 2023 to nearly 200. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, or CPJ, a leading body which promotes press freedom, the war in Gaza has been the deadliest conflict for journalists ever documented. It says more press members have been killed there in the past 2 years than were killed worldwide in the prior 3 years. International journalists have been banned by Israel from entering the Gaza Strip independently since the start of the war. Some journalists have been taken into Gaza by the Israel Defense Forces under controlled access, but international media outlets rely on local reporters for much of their coverage in Gaza.
United States President Donald Trump and South Korean President Lee Jae-myung have expressed their willingness to engage with North Korea's hereditary leader Kim Jong-un during a meeting at the White House.
What is your message to South Korea, Mr. President? What is your message to South Korea?
You said you
Lee, who has promised to heal the wounds of division and war as South Korea's new president, told the US leader on Monday that his North Korean counterpart will be waiting to meet him. Trump, who has met with Kim on 3 past occasions, told reporters in the Oval Office that he hopes to meet the North Korean leader again this year. During his meeting with the South Korean president, Trump also said the US should have ownership of South Korean land, where some 28,500 American troops are stationed in US military bases. This was Lee's first visit to the White House after he was elected in June, following the impeachment of former President Yoon Suk-yeol, who briefly imposed martial law late last year, in a move swiftly overturned by lawmakers and which has led to his arrest on alleged insurrection charges. Meanwhile, Korean Air announced a $50 billion order on Monday, 103 Boeing airplanes and GE Aerospace engines and servicing, coinciding with the visit of South Korean President Lee Jae-myung to Washington. The order, the largest in the Korean air carrier's history, includes a mix of 787s, 777s and 737 Boeing airplanes worth about $36.5 billion. Korean Air also announced a separate deal on Monday with GE Aerospace on the purchase and maintenance of engines valued at $13.7 billion.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good
night.